Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Before we get this video started, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and consider subscribing to the channel. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button. It greatly helps out my channel. In this video, I'm showing you how to do the front brakes on a Hyundai Sonata. Here we're at the front of the car. First thing you need to do is jack the vehicle up off the ground. And once you get it jacked up off the ground to where you can remove the wheel, make sure you use jack stands so the vehicle's supported, so it doesn't fall, you don't kill yourself. Or, smash a hand or your leg or, whatever. Any of your limbs. Alright, once you get the vehicle up in the air, then you need to take and remove the wheel. And on the Hyundai, those wheels, the lug nuts, obviously there's 5 of them, but it's a 3/4 lug nut. I would have thought it'd been metric, like Honda's, but nope, it's a 3/4 lug nut. Once you get the wheel removed, alrighty guys, once you get that wheel removed, then you got to take and undo the bolts holding the brake caliper on. And there's 2 bolts. There's one right here at the top and one at the bottom. And those you can do with I believe it's a 12mm on this Hyundai. You get those removed and pull the caliper off. Let me get those removed for y'all. Alright guys, we got one of the bolts removed right there. There's the other one. We're going to send them over here with the lug nuts so we don't lose them. Then you can just give the caliper a good wiggle here. And you can pull her off. 1 second. Oh, one other thing, guys, I meant to tell you all. On some of your vehicles, and it's your foreign, like Hondas and Hyundais, they might have a brake hose locking clip right here on the back side on the spindle assembly. It's right there, and you can actually get to it with a socket and a wrench. Really tight fit in between there and the shock. But yeah, you gotta undo that. Some of them, a lot of times when they change these out before, then they don't put it back on there. But this particular vehicle, it's only 1.5 years old, so these original brake pads that are on the car, so that's why it's still there. But once you undo that, then you can just pull the caliper right off. Alright guys, like I said, once you undo that clip right there, it's mounted on the back of this spindle assembly, pull the brake caliper off, and it's best to not let it hang by that hose. You can set it up on the tie rod end or something like that. It's best to do that. In this case, yep, there we go. Because you're not putting pressure on that hose, because you can rip the hose. I've seen them break, especially if they're dry rotted. Now you just pull these pads right off. There's actually still plenty of pad left on them, but the original equipment, they use a lot of metal on your pads. We're going to go with more likely a ceramic pad on this vehicle, so it's not making that grinding, metal to metal noise. So yeah. Oh, look at there, and the shim just broke right off the back. There you go, guys. You pull the pads off, inspect your rotor. Make sure the rotor doesn't have any deep grooves in it. This one might be kind of hard to tell from the camera here, but it's really smooth. It doesn't have any, laceration grooves or anything. That's just your normal shine on the rotor right there. And there's none here on the back side. Make sure you'll be able to see in there. So it's a good rotor. Plus, we'll take a micrometer and check the thickness of the rotor to make sure it's still good before we put it all back together. But I can tell by doing this for last 25 years that this rotor's perfectly fine. But like I said, we'll check it with a micrometer, which tells us the OEM specifications on the minimum thickness of the rotor disc before we put new pads on it. But hopefully y'all find this video useful. Like I said, this was on how to remove and and service your brake pads on a Hyundai Sonata. And this particular model, I believe, is a 2009. Like I said, these are the factory pads that come on this vehicle. The metal shim was already broke off of them. Customer said they kept hearing a squeaking noise, you know, a grinding, squeaking noise when they apply the brakes, and more than likely that's why, because the shims, like I said, they done broke right out the back, and there's where your caliper was rubbing on the back of the pad, the piston, and you can see it done wore the paint, you know, right off of that. So that was probably sitting there sliding on the pad, like that right there, and that's probably what they heard. But we'll replace them with brand new ones. Hopefully y'all find this video useful, like I said, on how to service and replace your brake pads on a Hyundai Sonata. If you did, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button, and y'all have a great day.